welcome again to another edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, here with my brothers, Corey Armstrong and Damon Armstrong. We are here to speak on uh, people's thoughts, people's concerns, reflect on everything good and bad in our lives. And we appreciate you guys joining us or watching later on our YouTube channel. Speaking of our YouTube channel, do us a favor to go to Strong Perspective Podcast on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Take time to go see it because bless you. Because the content is great content. We have great guests. As a matter of fact, we have great content on the nights that we're doing right now. Like, and basically what we like to do every once in a while, we just have the three of us come on in reflection to try to, work it out. If we have concerns, if we want to say some good things, if we want to give our strong perspective. You feel me? So basically, let's get to it. Ja'Quari, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. The day went pretty routinely, and that's good. Routine is a good thing for me.
Okay. Damon, how are you today?
I had a great day today, man. Just sitting back reflecting on things, man, and basically coming up with, understanding that, life don't have to be as difficult as people make it, man. It's about mindset and attitude.
It's true. I what I've come to understand is the purpose of our podcast. Is we want people to tune in to us live. Because really and truly, you try to say that you're busy on a Friday. Really, truly, you're coming home from work and you're thinking about dinner plans. But we have great we have great content, right? And we want your comments. We want people to actually tune in and chop it up with us. I invite that all the time. You know what I mean? So let me start it off with my beginning segment. Big Dog's perceptive point. I change it up every show. Big Dog's perceptive point, right? Let me just say this. People call me by my nickname, but I don't subscribe to it because I love the name Keith because it's mine. You feel me? It's like Keith, and this is it right here. My individuality, Keith Armstrong, Senior. That means something to me. I hope it means something to my children and my wife. That it has a special energy to it. You feel me? Because it does have a special energy to me. Because, when you, as a little kid, hear your name for the first time and you understand that it belongs to you, you don't care that there's other people out there that give you that name. Because really what you want to do, and you don't know it, you indirectly want to make it yours and make it special. So the best way for me to make it special is not by any sports accomplishments or anything like that. Me as my character. I think people and communities will go a long way if they work on their character. Because your character encompasses a long and wide thing. Because it keeps you in place. It keeps you grounded. because what you try not to do is hurt somebody else. And that's a sign of strong character in itself. I just wanted to speak on that. So, guys, what will we talk about today? Anybody got something to chop it up about? They've been thinking about?
Just offhand, man. When we was doing our Thursday show yesterday, you guys know it was about 8 o'clock. I got up and answered the door. This young fella, man, asked me if I wanted him to cut my grass. And he told me 20 for the front, 20 for the back. I told him I didn't have any money, and asked if he could come back today. And he said, yeah. So, today is the last day of Ramadan, so it's a holiday, so there's no school. So I asked him what time he's going to come back. And, he said, he told me that it's a holiday, so and we don't have no school. And he said, 1, 2 o'clock. And I told him, I said, you the businessman, you set, I'm going to let you set the time. So he said 2 o'clock. Now I'm sitting here watching Netflix or whatever. 2 o'clock on the dot, this little guy knocks on the door. I said, wow, okay. So he cuts my grass, and he didn't do a very good job about it. He's a young guy. I don't know, he probably don't even cut his own yard. But the simple fact that he was on time and prompt today and yesterday at 8 o'clock, it was dark, and he was still out hustling, doing right. And that made me gain an appreciation for the spirit of young people again nowadays, man. Seriously, I think I got me a yard maintenance person from now on.
Okay.
If he come back, we gonna do business. But I mean, go ahead.
No. I'm listening.
Yeah, it was sort of inspiring, man. Because I work with kids, and they don't always have the best mindset. But when he left, the first thought that came to my mind, man, was somebody raising that dude right. Somebody raising him right.
Well, you remember what I said yesterday when you came back and told us what was going on? I was like, wow, okay, man grinding.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was dark. And he's still out there trying to get customers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he got one. I'm gonna have to show him how to cut grass. But
hey, look.
He got a customer.
So what you're doing is you're doubling his blessing, because you're gonna show him how to do it right. He already has the ambition. You know what I mean? Speaking about this, you got something, Fluke? Then I got a question to ask you guys.
No, that was basically what I was gonna come, say something about. I was gonna ask Troy. Remember when the young cat came last night? I was gonna speak on that.
Okay. I was talking to a good friend today, and he was a brother, conservative. I don't believe in labels, conservative, liberal. I don't believe in that bullshit, right? But he does have a conservative way of thinking, which can be good, and it can be a little skewed. Yeah, I notice I didn't say bad. You know what I'm saying? Because black people, in my opinion, are conservative. Pretty much because we had to be. Because we had to stay on our square at all moments, right? But Ja'Quari brought up something about the young man, and we had this, coincidentally, we had this discussion. And the question I have to ask you, thinking about what happened in Chicago, 4 or 5 days ago, with the kids downtown, tearing the place up and looting stores and all that, beating folks up. And the mayor gets on and he condemns the damage and the violence, right? But he also says, don't judge those kids, right? Because, I'm paraphrasing, pretty much because they come from broken homes. All those kids come from broken homes, right? Um, what responsibility from the ages of, I'm just throwing these numbers out, 14 all the way up to 17, 18, 18, because I consider those, I would call those kids, right? Like official kids. What responsibility should we, not responsibility, what accountability should we hold those children to when they display that kind of violence? And you guys understand the kind of violence I'm talking about. Roving gangs down, damn, wrong word, but a mob, not a gang, a mob of kids going into stores, looting stores, doing damage, going down the street. This is what I saw. Going down the street, busting windows, doing all kinds of damage. I don't know what motivated it, but it happened, right? What accountability, in your opinion, should we have? And anybody, I see we got one viewer right now. I'm inviting folks to give a comment and talk to us about it and what you think about this and chime in. But what do you think the accountability should be? And we'll start with you, Damon.
I think they should be held accountable, man. I think that they should be held responsible for their actions, man. Because if they jumping on people and doing property damage, that's crazy, man. That's chaos. You know what I'm saying? Because what could have happened is they could have sent a whole bunch of police down there. You know what I'm saying? And just imagine what that how that would have turned up. Just imagine what kind of reaction that would have been what would have happened in that situation. Is my point. And it's like, yeah, that could have been a whole lot of kids getting shot, beaten, pepper sprayed. Innocent people was already getting hurt. So it was crazy, man. There's no rhyme or reason to something like that. Of course, you're gonna have certain people out there pointing, because Chicago is the poster child for every person who wants to say, well, look at their community and look at what they're doing to each other, and that's why we need more policing and all these different things. So I think that's what the reason why the mayor said what he said. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge these kids. But when do they learn accountability, man? Just because the kid does something at a young age don't mean they're gonna turn out to be that person. Sometimes you got to get your head bumped, man. You factor in peer pressure. How many of those kids were real true goons, man? Or were they just following the mob? They was just following and just doing what everybody else was doing. So I think, yeah, they should be responsible for their actions, man. Because one day it might cost them their life. You gotta take that into account. You gotta factor that in, man. What would John Armstrong do? Take him to jail? You know what I'm saying? And then keep your mug shot and put it up on the banner and say, look at my son, the jailbird.
Hey, before you answer, Jaquari, you see the question that Malika asked. Basically, what's going on is, and basically, I look at a little bit of it, but some teams, a mob of teams, I don't know how many it was, but it was a lot of them, was somewhere in Chicago, bursting windows, running up in the stores, grabbing things, running down the middle of the street, assaulting people in cars, busting windows, and all of that. So when it was all said and done, the mayor had a press conference, and he condemned the damage for what they were doing, but then he threw that extra thing in. But and like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said, "Well, look, don't condemn them because they're just they're pretty much just children, right?" Now, anybody who's seen it, you can let us know if I'm off, or you can fill in the rest of the blanks. But that's pretty much what's going on. And the question I asked was, when this kind of behavior is displayed by any color, but I'm speaking mostly from our community because I'm from our community. How much accountability should be on the kids doing this thing? Because here's my thing: we came from we weren't way below the poverty line, but we were hovering near it, and we had every reason to go out there and steal and whatever, right? And I'm not saying we're everyday people. We're everyday people, and we made a decision because we made a decision to do right or wrong. You see what I'm saying? And I give our children credit that they do know what's right or wrong, and they know if they stealing and doing this, it's wrong. Because if they didn't know, because they're in impoverished situation, right? Why did they run away? Jaquari. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective, man, they definitely, man, need to face, some sort of discipline, man. But if it's going to be effective, man, the American juvenile justice system has got to change. It's got to change, in a short period of time for this particular case. But I mean, for future cases, man, we've got to point rehabilitation, man, in certain directions. You know, how much practice with empathy do you think any of those kids had? They probably had none. Accountability? What accountability? What reason do they have to be accountable? I don't think we as a society have given them reasons to be accountable. We had reasons to be accountable, viable reasons to be accountable.
But they had just real quick. They had verbal chastising and verbal accountability. The majority of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I deal with parents, man. I deal with parents every day. And when you say verbal chastising and accountability, it's tongue lashing.
And you got to follow up, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you don't do this, then I'm going to do this to you. If you don't do that, then I'm going to take this from you. There's no lessons in it. Parents don't teach. Why this particular punishment is necessary anymore. How many times did Maggie Johnson get into it? Get on one of us and tell us why she was when I asked.
Hey man, put that on mute, man. Or
I thought I turned it off, man.
Yeah, I mean, out of the few beatdowns that I got when I was a child, I knew the reason why I got them, and I knew the reason why I shouldn't have done what I did, and I made corrections. But when all you have is punitive punishment, with no educational reinforcement, then these are the kind of kids that you're going to develop.
Okay.
There has to be some accountability, man, with the home too, man.
Okay.
Just imagine, our dad. The first thing and we were in that city, in that area, and we wasn't around, but he's seen that. The first thing he's going to do, what would he do? He's coming out and trying to find us. You know what I'm saying? Not only is he trying to find us, you know, to make sure that we ain't the ones destroying property and beating up people, but our own safety, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying? He would.
I think I think a bigger thing is, man, when parents have to deal with the juvenile justice system, man, there's a measure of shame that comes along with it.
yeah,
There's a measure of shame that comes along with it. No matter what the parents' past may be, because I also deal with a lot of parents with criminal backgrounds,
I
you
got you.
know, and at this point in their lives, many of them are well-rounded, well-meaning people who want their children to be successful, but they don't necessarily know, you know, how to position them to be successful because nobody positioned them to be successful. I've dealt on at least three different occasions. I've dealt with a child who had a parent in my facility on a previous occasion. Now I've been there for 12 years, so I came in like on the ass end of when some of these parents was getting out. So I know a couple of them, you know, and these people want me to talk to their sons, and you know what I tell them? The exact same thing I told their parents. I mean, we can't we can't make it a shameful thing, to let the world know that we can't really handle this situation with our kids.
Okay.
It took a village to raise a kid for a reason. It was a purpose to that. It takes a village to raise a child. It's a purpose for that. If you really
Okay.
if you really break that adage down.
Well, let me say this, because see, this is what I do, and you guys know I'm this kind of person. I'm gonna take the whole into consideration, right? I'm taking the whole. I'm not going to say with my small where I am, my small segment is representative of the whole world. No, I mean the whole community, not the whole world, the whole community. Where if I'm somewhere, like when I before I retired, if I'm patrolling somewhere and it's just one street is a high crime street that's my beat, I'm not going to say that that's the whole neighborhood that I'm working in. It's that particular street. And what bothers me, and this is my own personal thing, what bothers me is this. This is why I even brought up the accountability. What bothers me is this. When you find yourself saying they or kids nowadays or this or that, right? It's almost conceding. It's almost conceding that we have, because you said it, Jaquari, we have lost control over our kids. But really, it's some simple things that need to be done. Simple things that need to be done, right? Some of those things are this. I had to cut my 15-year-old time when it came to being on the PlayStation. Not because it's this, it's because what you watch on YouTube. You got grown men on there that the kids love to watch, cursing and jumping around and gyrating without going to fucking work, right? I love their hustle. I love what they're doing. And I love to see black folks succeed, right? But they don't have, and it's up to the parents to do this too, to put them damn locks on YouTube where what their child can watch and what they can't watch, right? So I'm saying that. But to watch these men get on here and act like children and watch these women do the same thing, right? And then we expect our child, because they watch that more than they're around us, No, man, get up off there and come the hell downstairs. Watch television with me. You know what I'm saying? Watch television with me. Let's talk. Let's talk about shit, right?
Yeah.
Because see, here's the funny thing about it. I had
That's
to.
true.
The funny thing about it, I had to stop watching some of my shows in front of my young son. Because the stuff that I tell him that I don't want him to watch on YouTube, I'm sitting up there watching this damn movie, adult movie, rated R. So I'm looking at my son is looking at me side eye like, yo, my man, you telling me that I shouldn't be messing with this, right? But you down here watching it. And what's the famous word? I'm watching it because I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? But really what I realize is I'm watching it with him. That's the difference.
And
That's
Malika just said that's the very point, man. You know, a lot of people, man,
Well,
think that.
well,
now
well.
see, hold on. Let me tell you something. And then I'm gonna give it to you guys, right? And the reason why I even went through that little tirade is this. You treat your children different than you expect other children to be treated out in the world. I challenge anybody to say they do it different. I'm talking about your children's expectations. And it can go both sides. You can be a tyrant in the house, but then kids out in the world think you're the nicest person in the world, or you could be the nicest person and giving person in the house and let your child spoil your child, right? And then expect these kids don't give them no quarter. It's a very murky thing that you're gonna always be working. I'm sorry, Damon. Go ahead and finish your point.
My point is, man. See, people. I don't know when people have kids. I don't know what they expect. You know what I'm saying? Um, Raising kids is hard work, man.
Mm.
It's hard work. It's a everyday situation, man. It ain't no every. You spend time with your kid every now. You got to know what they doing, man. And you know what they're doing by asking questions. You know, you don't got to know every kid out there, but you just got to know your kid. You got to know your kid's personality, man. If you know your kid is a follower, man, you have to have that. You have to have that awareness. You know what I'm saying? Then you know where to move from that point.
Your point.
You know what I'm saying? I know my kid is a follower. I know the kid that he follows because I pay attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you have ammunition to work from, man. Hey, you know what? You need to do this. You need to be your own person. What type of person are you? You quiet. You know what I'm saying? You like to play games. You like to this. You know, playing games get you out of shape. You need to exercise. You need to have an awareness of your child, man. And then once you have that understanding, that relationship with that child, then you start speaking on the world, what's outside the house, and what they should expect. And that's an everyday situation, and they're gonna get tired of hearing it. You know what I'm saying? But when they get out in that world,
Yes, sir.
and some of the situations start happening in front of them, yeah, my dad told me that. You know what I'm saying? My mom spoke on this. You know, and that's every day, man. And I can't speak for anybody else, but for me and all three of mine, I had to sit down and get to know them, their personalities. You know what I'm saying? And help and assist them with trying to maneuver in the world to be successful. Because, the one thing I let them know is that there's a lot of traps out there that you have to be aware of. You know what I'm saying? And it's a choice between getting locked up or killed or strung out on drugs or whatever. And you have to have that conversation, man.
Yeah.
You have to
Keith,
have it constantly.
Keith, can you go back to that last comment Malika made, please? All right. Now she said parents need to understand that they don't have a choice in being involved in trying to get their child on the right track. The system should be support, not the driver. Totally understand it. Totally get it, and I mostly agree with it. Damon, your statement, hey, totally understand. Totally understand it. Mostly agree with it. But how do you factor in situations where where the parents are incarcerated or just downright refuse to be involved in their child's development? These are things that I deal with at work. I go to work, and I find myself having to be a parental figure to guys who don't get visitation from their parents whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah.
Some parents don't even call their sons. So I can imagine the level of involvement they have at home.
I tell you, the
So if
crazy
the
thing.
system, so me working in this part of the system or whatever, if we don't help raise them, who gonna do it?
Be a part of the village, man. And that's what I was gonna say. Be
Exactly.
a part of the village. Jaquari, it's halftime, brother. It's time for your segment.
All right, Uncle Spo say, I was going through some of the stuff that I'd written. I've probably written it, I don't know how many years ago, man, but I keep all that stuff, man. Blurbs here, short stories, screenplays, all that stuff I keep. And I came across this letter that I'd written to myself, because that was an exercise that I'd put the boys I work with through. I still do it sometimes, but just write a letter to your future self. Doesn't matter what you say, you talk about. You can talk about what you want to achieve. You can talk about some of the things you've been through, as long as is there's some kind of introspection in it. So for this segment of Uncle Spo say, I'm gonna read the letter to myself, man. Uh, Here we go. All right, what's up, bro? Look here. Shit ain't. Shit is only as hard as you fucking take it. It's a lot of swearing. That's where I was at the time, so excuse me. Uh, it, 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 it gets worse if you show your hand wrong. So don't care so much. Do what you want to do. It's time for you to catch a break. Go ahead. Wait. Go above and beyond for yourself. Do for self. You need to create a new spoke. Don't be the old spoke. He was a good dude, but he was blinded by what he thought was right, and now he's got to die. He rigidly stuck to notions of fair play, unimportant affirmations, and outdated methods of getting what he needed. Please don't be old spoke anymore. That guy, what the fuck? On the surface, it looked like that dude was purposefully clueless. Purposefully clueless. If you get burned every time you touch a stove, common sense would tell you to stop touching the fucking stove. It's gotten so bad that even the stove is telling you to stop touching it. Change has got to come. Hell no, don't be old spoke. Fuck that. And fuck him. Even though you dearly loved him, understand that he's dead now. Understand that. At some point in their dealings with you, people seen that which was good in you. They saw it and they wanted it. Not because they needed it, but because the good in you shone through and it was infectious. They took it and gave nothing in return, and that left you empty, or so you thought. Even though you believe yourself to be sucked dry of everything, there was the act, ACT. You still had that in you, spoke. Now, what the hell is the act? What the hell is the act, you may ask? The act is always, wait, the act is and always has been my why. The reason for wanting anything, no matter what that thing may have been. I can honestly say that I've always managed to get the things that I needed when I needed them. That includes hard lessons. The stark truth is people suck, but not necessarily because they hate you. They just have their own agendas, just like you, bro. You can't blame them for looking out for them. You can't put the blame on You can't put the blame on them for not following suit. So don't hate people for being afraid. You are. Once you've taught people how to treat you and they fail to act on those teachings, it is not their fault if you stick around. Sometimes you have to realize that the fight ain't a fight at all. It's a lesson sent to you from God. And you sit back and wonder why you keep going through the same shit. Simply put, bro, you ain't learned yet. Until you do, the lessons will keep coming and they'll keep getting hard. Do yourself a favor and take care of yourself. Always remember, good or bad, right or wrong, we all get exactly what we deserve. Peace. P.S. I'm not going through nothing. I'm just venting. As Uncle Spoke says.
Well, it's a good thing you threw that PS on there because motherfuckers gonna be writing you letters like, yo.
Oh, shit, hey.
Hey, I was impressed that he read it like that because I've been like reading my shit talking about. Excuse me, y'all. I think that's supposed to have been. Damn, man. Never mind.
Hey, look. Let's do this because I go through this mentally all the time, and I'll start it off. I'm gonna ask you the question. I want you to respond to it, but then I'll give you my response. But go ahead. You have something to say?
No, I mean before you move on from that situation, man. The one thing that I made sure that I done was make my kids realize that they supposed to be here and they have a purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? Know thyself. You know, and you fit in there somewhere. So you don't have to be like nobody else. You ain't got to follow nobody else. You just have to be like you. You know, you just have to be like yourself, man. And I look at these kids nowadays, man, and they influenced by the craziest stuff, man. The craziest stuff, and me understanding, I mean, me who I am, I'm like, how the hell are they interested in that? That's so outside of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I just continue to remind them of who they are. You know, and thus far it's worked.
Okay. Okay. It's a good point, man. Really good point. I ask for all comments. Malika, you've done a great job. You've done a great job. Anyone watching us right now, I should have said it earlier because we had about 6 people watching. Please put your comments in the comment box because we love to respond to them. Okay? And what I want to ask you is this. Because I tell people all the time when I ask people to come on as guests, right? Oh, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Strong Perspective Podcast. When I ask people to come on to the podcast, I tell them why we're doing it. The first thing I say is for the love of my brothers. Second thing is my own therapy. So my own therapy influenced this question I'm about to ask both of you. And what that is who are you and what do you feel what your place is in your world and this world? Who are you and what do you think your place is in this world? I'll cut it short right there. You guys understand the question? Because I'm going to answer it. And this is not going to be a rant, but something that I've always thought about throughout my life. Who I am. I am that young kid who wanted to be liked by everybody, who wanted to belong, But for some reason or another, I didn't belong to the group. I was not invited to the group that I wanted to belong to. It's not that group's fault. It's just the energy that I put off. My energy is a different kind of energy. It is an individual energy. I've come to understand that. Who I am. Who I am is a human being that step onto this situation, step on this earth, that understand that I'm flawed, but I understand my strengths too. What I learned how to do is speak the truth, no matter how much it hurt. Because what the truth did was empower me. When I say speak the truth about myself to me. Because it's easy to speak the truth to other people because you can use it as a weapon. Who I am, I'm somebody who want to follow what is prescribed for me. Who I am is human. Who I am is important to me. Who I am, I love. I had to learn how to love who I am because the world don't give you anything because the world don't have it figured out. The people around you don't have it figured out. We think they do because they talk, they speak with eloquence, they speak with charisma, they speak with positive energy. But if you really break it down and listen to them, they don't have a clue, just like you. So what I was blessed to be able to do is two things: become a vessel in which I'm empty and wait and am waiting to be filled with knowledge, with love, with guidance coming from above. And I don't hesitate to give it. Yes, I know how to protect myself verbally and physically. That's easy for me. But emotions, that's different. Honestly, emotions have never been promoted to us to have. Only for our children and our wives and our mamas. The daddies suffer. It's the truth. Why I'm here? Why I'm here is to be that consistent beacon of somebody trying to make their way through this world. That's not all, but that's a part of me. I'm gonna stop there. Damon,
I knew you was gonna ask me, man. You ain't seen the confusion on my face when you asked the
okay.
question.
Jaquar, that's why I explained it to you and gave you the example. Jaquar, it's on you.
I am a fucking beautiful disaster, bro. That's what the fuck I am, man. As far as wanting to be, as far as acceptance goes into, any particular clique or part of society, man, when I was a little kid, much like you, Keith, I went through you know, trying to find myself within the confines of a group. But I also learned at an early age that, one particular section of, people couldn't necessarily contain what I had to give. And that's not a cocky statement. You know what I mean? I have friends that just didn't get me. Didn't stop us from being friends, but they just didn't get me. And I didn't lose any sleep over the fact that they didn't get me. You know, because we rock with each other, man. So that's who I am. I'm a beautiful disaster, man. Sometimes I'm all over the place. Sometimes I'm so pointed and guided on the subject, man. It could seem like I was being stubborn, but I have the flexibility. I've always had the flexibility to be swayed if something makes sense. So you can definitely talk to me. We can definitely disagree on subjects and not fall out. And I think I do that easily because that's what I've always sought. Because nobody's ever going to give you what you give them,
That's real.
ever.
That's real.
And as far as my place in the world, I'm a nomad, bro. I'm a nomad, bro. I mean, I wouldn't be satisfied if I had found my one click. I wouldn't be at this point in my life. I wouldn't be satisfied with it anymore.
Mm.
And that's not a good thing for anybody. For any parties involved. So I mean, I don't know if that quite answered your question, man, but that's who I am and where I believe I belong.
How you feel about it?
I'm good with it.
Then we all good with it, then, brother. Damon, you ready?
Yeah. Who I am, man, is somebody who's always been a loner. Man. You know what I'm saying? I was comfortable being that because I was always interested in different things, man. I love nature. I love going to the library, reading, stuff like that. Those are the type of things that I truly enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Detroit, we got the Ipsy, man. That was the first freedom that I took advantage of, you know. And I was just interested in that kind of made me on the outside, you know, and in some aspects invisible, you know. And at a younger age, I was comfortable with that, but that made people look at you different, you know, because people generally don't get to know you, don't try to get to know who you are. You know what I'm saying, and what you're interested in. It's just young people clicking together and doing what young people do. The older I got, the more comfortable I got in being that because I was learning and doing the things that I enjoyed doing, but I got tired of being invisible. That's why I got into sports and stuff like that. And once I started playing sports, I realized, hey, you know, I'm pretty good at this. You know, never really focusing on, you know, what that would give me. You know, then the popularity started coming in and all these different things. You know, being good at some sports and stuff like that, and it never gave me an ego because it was always personal for me. I'm doing this because I like to do it. I'm doing it because I like the challenge of it. I was always looking at what it is that I wanted and how I saw it. Bumped head a lot with my parents, you know, because of their expectations of me, but I think that it worked out. I wound up going to school and all that stuff and playing. But once there, oh man, that's when institutionalized racism and all that. I started experiencing all that stuff, you know, and I realized that okay, you can't always stay invisible. You always can't, you know, not be engaged, and that's where I found my voice, you know. And I started being engaged, and I started using my voice, and I started pointing out the rights and wrongs of the things that I saw, you know. And I became, so to speak, the protector of those people, you know what I'm saying, who was invisible, you know. I became the protector of those type of people, and it pretty much gave me. It made me comfortable with myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized that I can articulate in any situation. You know, with anybody. You know, and it's okay to be different. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at all the famous people in the world, man, who did great things that's still alive today, they were loners. They were people who did things by themselves. They had insightfulness within themselves. You know, so for me, it was okay to be an individual, man, and go through your own maturation process. My place in the world, is, you know, to take those same traits and experiences that I went through, good, bad, and ugly, and realize that I'm not going to put that on anybody else. I'm not going to make people feel how I was being made to feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go out there and scream, get on my soapbox. You know what I'm saying? Because I understood that the best example I could be is to that person who I probably would never meet. You know, I've had people come to me and say, "Hey, man, I used to do this, and I heard you say this, and I heard you say that." You know, and I understood that right there was a purpose, my reason for being here. You know, being an example. You know, that's all we are. You know, especially we as black men. You know what I'm saying? We always under a microscope, and it gave me a certain pleasure hearing somebody trying to tell me that they know me, and I'm like, man, you don't have any idea, man. You know, you don't have any idea who I am because you're looking at the surface. But just look at my examples, man. See what I do. You know, then you might find yourself using those examples in your own life. You never tell me, and I'm okay with that. You know, because that's all I'm here for. I'm here to be an example, especially for my kids, man, and my family. You know, close family and extended. You know, and I have no regrets for that, man. None whatsoever. You know, I don't know if I answered the question, but
I mean, you happy with it? Then you answered that motherfucker. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Last question, real quick, and then we're gonna rotate around and come back to you, Damon, and you're gonna close us off. All right. This last question is kind of a two-parter. You can blend it into one if you want. What do you get from this podcast, and what is your expectation? I'll go first so y'all understand my question. I'm doing double duty tonight, my people. Usually I'm just a moderator, but you know I gotta make it interesting for everybody. Um, what is it? What did I say, Jaquari? What's my expectation, and what do I get out of it?
Yeah.
Okay. What I get out of the podcast is easy. Sometimes it's too easy. To do it with my brothers, you know, to see their faces. You know, we had these kind of conversations over the phone, but to see it in real time is a blessing. But also, it's therapeutic for me. Why is therapeutic? Because listening to my brothers and the many guests that we've had, it gives me fuel to see the world in a more flexible way, not a rigid way. Because when you get older, your views and your thoughts become rigid because it's the easiest thing to do. Because you convince yourself that you know everything and you fucking don't. I threw that curse word in there to emphasize you fucking don't, right? Nobody does. I don't care if it's the wisest old head out there, right? He or she still don't know everything. But you know what the expert at? Is giving opinion. Giving their opinion. That's what old heads are good at. Yes, they have the knowledge, but what we've learned how to do was put our opinions in the educational format so people can understand. And we carry ourselves in that same way. So that's what I think about what we're doing. We're putting it in the educational format, and our goal is to help people to understand that grown folks and children can have conversations and they don't have to agree. What I want from this, I want you motherfuckers to tune in. I want you motherfuckers to comment. And I want us to have great fucking conversations. That was my blue moment, ladies and gentlemen. But that's what I want. Jaquari.
Well, my expectation, man, is a little more. Uh, well, it's actually a little less than yours, Keith, man. I'm big on modeling the behavior, man. It's in regards to everything, man. So as far as conversation, I strive to be present. I strive to not. Well, I strive to purposely not try to sound like I have an expert opinion. Like I said before, hey, if you can sway me, sway me. I'll give you the opportunity. You know, my expectation, man, is to be engaging, man. And in regards to our past guests or whatever, if I ever see any of those men and women face to face, man, is to have them or to have us embrace each other like we've known each other for years, man. Because that's the feeling I've gotten from a lot of our conversations, you know. And I think that's a really important aspect of our podcast that we don't really talk about a lot. I mean, the level of comfort that our guests have, is amazing. I think the level of engagement that we don't necessarily have to coax out of them, man, is for us at this point in our development. It's unprecedented. And to me, it's big, and I just feel good doing it, man.
Me too.
And that's it for me.
Me too. Damon, go ahead and answer the question and bring us on home.
Oh, what I expect, man, is what we've been doing. Just give us time to spend with each other, man. We live in 3 different states, man, and we are actually best friends, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, it gives me comfort, man, to see y'all two brothers on here. You know what I'm saying? For me, really, it's like a safety zone. My brothers. I'm kicking it with my brothers. You know, and I enjoy it, man. Honestly, just kicking it with each other. What I expect, uh, along the same lines with what Jaquay was saying. I am so impressed, man, by some of the cats keep that you bring on, man. Who you had relationships for like over 30 some years, man, and how it's and I know most of those guys, man, and I'm like, damn, this is cool as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? This is cool as hell, and I take something from that. I'm like, man, you know, I remember the time spending with these cats. You know, I remember the times I spent with these cats and the fun we had and how we looked out for each other during those times, man. And they're still here, kicking, got good lives, man. You know, and the new cats, man. You know, real good black men, real good dudes, man. You know, and I enjoy that also just as much as spending time with my brothers. You know, seeing brothers that's got their opinions. You know what I'm saying, and showing love and respect for each other. You know, and it's like a energy boost, man. You know, and that's about it. You know, as far as that question is concerned.
You already said your expectation.
My expectation, man, is to continue to do it, man, and keep on sharpening our tools, man. You know, the more and more we do it, the better and better we get at it. You know what I'm saying? And see where it goes from here. You know, I'm excited about the possibility.
Okay, okay. Before you go into your joint, I just put something up there, and I want both of y'all to give your opinion about it, and then we'll go into your last segment. And Malika put up. Malika said, "What or if your expectations don't look like what y'all envision, are they willing? Are you willing to make adjustments? Why or why not? How are you measuring it?" Well, I already have the answer, but anybody want to go before me?
You know, at the beginning, I wanted to go full bore, man. You know what I'm saying? Get it all off into, you know, current events and throw out my opinion. You know, and as we went along, I'm like, you know what? It's just us. It's just like us chilling in my basement, man. You know, and like I said, it's a comfort zone there, and you know, what would I change about it? You know, let's see what we come up with. You know what I'm saying?
Jaquar.
Well, that's a rough one for me, man. That's a rough question. As far as adjustments, you know, I mean, we're always tweaking little things. I'm always tweaking small things or whatever. But when I started this, for me, a big point, just piggybacking off of Damon's comment, I'm not really a confrontational person, and I don't know if this is what he was getting at or anything, but just being a fan of several different other podcasts or whatever, I didn't want to do anything that I seen as similar. I mean, yeah, you can find, a podcast where it's three people sitting around, talking or whatever, but they're arguing and there's tension and there's bumping heads and there's, for the sake of entertainment, you know. And for me, if I'm gonna argue, if I'm gonna, swap words and everything, man, it's got to be some sense of resolution at the end, man. And that's I didn't see that a lot, and I don't see that a lot in podcasts nowadays, man. As far as a niche. I think we're kind of building our own niche. You know, we've all said it before. We're three brothers. We're three three brothers. You know, with different perspectives on things. And a lot of the times we land on the same, on the same target, but we all have different ways of getting to it. As far as measuring it, I mean, I don't even watch it, so I mean, measuring it, I would be completely unfair if I did judge it. Completely unfair. Not necessarily with you guys, but with myself. That's the reason why I don't watch it.
Gotcha. My response, and I'm being honest, because Malika is a great question. That's why I even presented it to the three of us. Understanding that the three of us are individual. We're individuals, so we had these discussions all the time. We've been doing it about 18 months. We have these discussions all the time. We tweak, we do whatever. And the thing about it is, every once in a while, my brothers say, your podcast, Keith. And I will correct them and say, no, this is our podcast. Whatever you want to do, I'm riding with you, right? So, expectations, if you don't see, and this is not directed to you, Malika, I'm speaking in general. If you don't see just how great this podcast is, then you're never going to see it because you don't want to see it. So, answering what my expectations of it was, is what it's going to be. Jaquari said it earlier. Everyone we had on it, every single play, there's what? How many people? 30, 40 people we've had on this podcast. And we had at least 5 or 6 reoccurring guys, right? That love it. Now, are we, what do they call it, viral? Are we internet famous? First of all, if you chasing something and you don't have that special ability to attract people, you're going to be chasing that shit your whole life. How we tweak it is, I'll give you one example. Early on, we would cut each other off. That's what we did. We tweaked it. How we tweaked it? We talked about it. You feel me? We talked about it. You know why? Because the 3 people you see on this screen, this is our shit. This is our shit that we're proud of, that we showcase our friends, our new friends, and our family. We showcase our friends, our new friends, and our family. They get to go back with their families and by themselves and see themselves on our channel. To answer your question, I'm always willing to change some shit up if all 3 of us agree that that's what we should do. But if we are big dogs in our fucking lane. That's what we are. There's no doubt about it. You feel me? Now, I'm being real enthusiastic about that. If my brothers feel differently, they still gonna support my ass. You understand what I'm saying? Because we on that accord. Now, if you want me to shave every fucking time we come on Fridays, is that gonna give me 10,000 views? Guess what the fuck I'm gonna do? You feel what I'm saying? But that's just something that I like to do anyway. My goatee is gone. Now I'm looking like a 35-year-old with gray fucking hair. Shit. No, but I'm joking. But my point is, just to answer the question, of course, if we can do better, we're going to do better. But right now, this three-punch combination, left, right, uppercut, left, right, bolo, it's knocking motherfuckers out. But right now we're in Golden Gloves. Get ready to step up to a professional real soon. Blue, take us on home, brother.
Yeah, that was a great question. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to talk about, man, something that I've been watching for the last 2 days, man. I go through and watch other people's podcasts and stuff like that. And there's this disturbing trend, man, that's happening, that I actually am concerned about. And that's this whole back and forth with black men and black women, man. The way some of our people are exposing themselves, man. The way they're talking to each other and all of that is just arming other people, other races, man, with ammunition. And that is a sad state of affairs, man. It really is, man. And I'm concerned about it. I am truly concerned. I look at my little grandbaby and I'm like, man, is this the type of world she gonna grow up in? With the infighting and the exposure. And a lot of people are clout chasing with it, man. And it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Where is the love for each other, man? And I know I'm talking as a 57-year-old man, married man. I know I'm doing. I'm coming from that lane. You know what I'm saying? But if if people younger see me as an elder or whatever, understand. It's a bad look, man. It truly is. It's a bad look. And that is something that is going to be more difficult to try to bounce back from. You know what I'm saying? Each and one of us go through our own stuff. We go through our own stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that's piling on, but collectively, we trashing each other like this. Our young people, man. Hating each other. I mean, professing hate towards each other, man. And that I watch it one after another, man, and it is so damn heartbreaking, man. It's so heartbreaking, man. What they call these brothers, passport brothers and all that.
Man, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that ain't nothing but. Go ahead, bro.
Wherever it is, whether it's a true statement or not, my point is, there is this thing, man. There's this apparatus that's in place where people can come in and speak on our shit. You know what I'm saying? And try to speak on. I mean, I hear people talking about victimhood. You understand what I'm saying? What the hell do you know about it, man? You don't know nothing about it. And then you have another black person who's saying that about another black person. Really? Really? You're not serving any purpose, man. And the reason why is because people want to be heard in their own little section, in their own little world. And they taking that pain and that pain that they're experiencing in that one-time situation and they broadcasting it, man. You know what I'm saying? See, I told you, man, they don't even love each other. Which is a damn lie. You know what I'm saying? That. And also, man, us as black men, hey, man, if we don't start talking about our sisters in the good light, you know what I'm saying? That is, how much more could a black woman get beat down, man? You got industries to talk about they're not beautiful. You got all this. You know what I'm saying? And it is the craziest shit in the world, man. That we don't police ourselves in that regard, man. What happens in the house stays in the damn house, man. If it ain't working out for you with a particular person, move on. But don't broadcast that, man, so the rest of the world will look at us and laugh and say, see, look at them. We gotta take personal responsibility, man. That, like I said, I saw that stuff, man. It was so heartbreaking because I was like, my God. What else, man? What else are we going to have to fight against? Doesn't make sense to me, man. We need to start loving each other and quit all the bullshit. You know, and it's disparaging, man. It truly is. You know, we got to start taking care of each other. You know, and that's just fact. Because it seems like everything around us is for our demise, man. So, as a black man, I can only do my part. As a single black man, I can only do my part. That is crazy. That is, huh?
Singular. You ain't single.
Did I say single?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Trying to help you out, my brother.
My bad.
I mean?
But you understand what I'm saying, man? It's gotten out of hand, man. It is the craziest shit in the world. It has gotten out of hand.
Well, let me, can I just comment just a little bit? I saw Alicia and Malika's points, great points, right? But also, it's more or less, here you go, Fluke. It's more or less, it's more or less where you look. If your favorite social media site be on that bullshit, you're going to feel attacked. You feel what I'm saying? If I go on something every day just for the content, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be influenced by the content. I'm not saying this about you and Alicia, right? I'm not saying that about Malika and Alicia. What I'm saying to you is, honestly, can you tell me that the majority of us are attacking black women? Or is it on social media black women is being attacked?
You asking me the question?
I'm asking both of y'all the question.
Well, for me, man, it's that energy being put out there.
Because you're watching the social media, right?
I can watch it, man, and know better. It's other people who take that content, you know what I'm saying, and judge our women.
I agree.
You feel what I'm saying?
Are they judging? And I'm not debating you. What I'm saying to you is I'm trying to get you to understand, narrowing it down, where you're looking. Like, I subscribe to TikTok, so I go through for the spiritual stuff, right? I'll run into something about passport bros. That's how I knew what you was talking about. Who gives a fuck about you got the money to go overseas and date an impoverished woman that's gonna do what she trying to get out of her situation? Oh, she treat me better. Yeah, you know why? Because your pockets is fatter. And I'm paraphrasing and I'm going from the extreme. My point is, these brothers, these brothers and these sisters are hurt. They're hurt. Hurt people do what? They hurt people. So you can design and really this is my opinion more than anything. You can design a channel to talk about all these black women ain't doing this and that. Yeah, you've been mistreated. And I feel bad for you, but you ain't speaking on every black woman. Even though you chasing these fat chasers who gonna treat you like shit because you got other people in line and maybe her character ain't worth shit. And guys who want to be players, women, and they shining and they smell good, and you still go after them. You're making the choice. I tell you something, right? Before I met my wife, I used to joke. My brothers would tell you, I used to joke about this. I said, "Damn, needy women always find me." Right? Emotionally needy women always find me. Right? Then one day, when I finally fucking matured, you know what hit me? No, I inadvertently seek them out because I want to be a hero to them.
But see, bro, you
Once I came to that conclusion, guess what happened? I got to see my life and see me and other people differently. And that's just my story. You feel what I'm saying? Understand it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
go ahead, dog.
yeah, but see, here's my point, man. You know, when I talk about what's being put out there, you know what I'm saying? I think we as black men, especially if they're talking about black women, we as black men should be offended that some other clown gonna come in and make a statement. It's like, the hell do you know about it, man? You
I
don't
feel
know
you.
anything about it.
I feel you.
And then those cats that's putting that dumbass stuff out there need to be checked, man. Your mama black fool.
I get you.
You understand what I'm saying? How you gonna be on a channel and you put out some
Cause
bullshit about a black
they want
woman,
they want to be famous, man.
and then your mama or your auntie see that shit. You know what I'm saying? You just tell me where that makes sense, man.
I feel you.
But s- your sentiment, Damon, is the same reason why I made my statement earlier, man. This lane is fine for me, man. All the things that people come up with chasing content, man, and trying to go viral, man. Some of those things are despicable, and I think us in this particular lane, man, we're trying to bring something back to the world.
I get it. And let me really real quick. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this statement I'm getting ready to make. I have been hearing a lot about last 3 4 years how black women are being attacked. Our black women need to be protected, right? But the whispers I hear is the same energy being directed at black men. Both are being attacked. But black men are feeling some kind of way because they're not listening enough. Both of us are being attacked. Both of us need to be protected and protect ourselves. I'm not being unrealistic, am I, Jaquari?
I don't think so, man. But I think you know when people get together, man, their expectations can sometimes be totally unrealistic. I mean, you know, that people expect to live these, just materializing these cookie cutter white picket fence
Yeah,
stories or whatever. That takes work, man. It takes
it
work to get
does.
to that point.
A lot of fucking work.
Back in the days, before Papa became a Rolling Stone, and he, not only did he stick it out with Ma, but they had a good life. He took steps to maintain his household and to maintain his wife's happiness, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I mean, how do you hear anything about uh two relationships, and it them being a two-way street? You don't hear a lot about that anymore, man. You don't hear a lot about for example, a man coming home to to a hot meal every day. You don't hear a lot about that. I'm not saying it don't happen. My wife cook every day. So I'm not trying to put words in nobody's mouth, or I'm not trying to create no controversial situations. I'm just saying, it's got to be worked on. Relationships, relationships develop. They just don't happen.
Yeah.
The thing about it is this, man. My only point, man, my only sentiment with that statement that I was making is that, when you look at other communities, man, they pretty much, you know, they ain't airing all they shit out there, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think we as black men and black women, we have to police that shit because other people are using it as ammunition, and the ammunition that they're using might affect somebody getting a damn job, man, or a promotion or whatever, because they literally taking what they're hearing and saying, "See, we was right about them," and that's not the damn case, man.
Bro, we
So,
don't
so,
look,
so, hold on. All I'm saying is we can get off into the nuances of relationship. We can do all that. I'm saying we as black men and women, we should push back on a lot of that content, man.
you don't think we do? We
Well,
do. We do believe.
I have yet to see it, man.
No, because like I said before, we do push back. But this social media thing that we're on is a one-sided thing. We only see people's opinion, period. We don't see, and this is what we promote. If you don't agree with us, comment or come on to the show, and we'll go from there. You feel what I'm saying? And see, my thing, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Is it is the hardest thing in the world, man, to cooperate with somebody we think we don't need to be cooperating with. Like you spoke about, and then explain it. You spoke about other communities don't air their shit out. Yes, they do. But guess who gets the hardest? Guess who gets the hardest scrutiny?
Right,
Our community.
and that's my point, brother. And that's my
Our
point.
community.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my whole point. It's about taking, at this point, man, in the conditions that we are in, bro, we have to think about how to take care of ourselves, man. It's my only point, man.
And look, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying to you is I'm adding on to what you're saying. You feel me? Because it's the kind of conversation where emotions is wrapped up into your decision making and how you look at our community, right? How you look at yourself, how you was raised, how much love you received and you didn't receive. It is so much for each individual. Now, I say the three of us and everybody been commenting, we are of rational minds. right? But we don't control each other. So to some point, we all, three of us, agree a lot of what's being said tonight. You feel what I'm saying? It's what it is. Because, not because we're brothers, because the three of us are independent thinkers. But it makes sense. But when people are hurt and injured, logic slips away. You feel me? It is what it is. You know, you guys heard me say it many, many times. Hurt people hurt people. That is a simple thing to say, but that shit is so fucking true. Because when you ask them, it's like, yo, man, why you do that shit? I don't know. Or I did it before they can do it to me. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
I had to go through it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like I said, man, you know, at least put it in the back of people's mind, man.
Well, of course, it's about planting seeds, dog. See, that's what I'm saying. Luke, I hope you don't think I'm disagreeing with you, because I'm not. All I'm doing is adding on to this shit, man, because it is so many layers. People always just take the one fucking layer or the second layer. They don't understand with our community what we've gone through. It is many, many layers. What I said was earlier, about 5 minutes ago, I said both black men and black women are being attacked. But what do? This social media thing, we individualize. Black men said, oh, somebody said high quality man. Kevin Samuels was funny, but he was a fucking asshole, right? He was an asshole to both men and women. If you really understand the history of it, of him, everything he said to every woman that came onto his show, a year and a half prior, he said to men who came on the fucking show. But guess what? He got demonized. And all he was a fucking entertainer. Y'all understand my logic? That's my logic. Like, bro, you cannot, like, get information without researching. Kevin Samuels, the men, them hurt men, hopped on his train because they couldn't have those women who they idolized. So he's like, yeah, tell him, Kev, tell him. But if you really research it, he said the same shit to men and made them look stupid. In the same way that he made the ladies look stupid. He's an entertainer.
I never watched the show, man. Did he bring in? He just had black people on the show.
It was black people.
Oh, that's exactly my point.
But see, here's the thing. It was funny because I thought it was more of a skit when I first saw it, right? But then I realized he's serious about this. And his argument was dumb. And the women argument was dumb too. You got to make $100,000. Hold on, man. You talking about the black community. You doing well to make 50. No indictment, but be honest. Our community wide, you're doing well, right? And we got black women saying this, and then we got him saying, look at you. Think about it. Look at you. You got 2 kids, even though these women's making 6 figures, right? You got 3 kids. You shouldn't want what you want because you overweight. What the fuck is that but entertainment, man? Come on. Y'all dig what I'm saying? That's what it was. Because you being fucking Look, and then you get women on there, because I thought, like I said, I thought it was skits, because they was falling for that shit. And then to find out they were real women. They was real women. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling these women they should settle or shouldn't do all that, right? No, you getting on here and degrading and getting degraded at the same time. That's not entertainment. That ain't reality shows right there.
But that's my whole point, Keith. Clowns getting on that shit thinking, you know, making those type of videos and they think that shit is funny, man.
Yeah,
You know,
of course. And look, like I told you a couple times, dog. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. It's just we got to know what we're looking at. You know what I mean? We got to know what we're looking at, man. You know, and our kids, man, and our kids are not in a mature space to understand. And I'm talking about the younger, the below 18 kids. This is why I'm with my son constantly. He's 15. Like, bro, explain that to me. You sitting there watching this. Why are you watching this? I would do it. No, not to make him feel bad, but bro, explain this. Why you own this like this? Right? Because I want him to think about what he's damn doing. Not because it's a popular thing to do. Because what did I say earlier, dog? What did I say earlier? I said, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a part of the group. For one thing or another, right? The group didn't want me to be a part of it. You feel me? Didn't want me to be a part of it. So what did I have to do? I had to look within myself and understand and love who I was. And then I fucking found out I'm a lovable motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was forced to do it. And you know what? That's a divine thing. The way I looked at it. It wasn't on my own doing. I had to go find it, and I was steered towards it. Like, hey, man, do you love who you are? And when I learned how to love who I was, it gave me, and it took me a long time to 58. It took me a long time. And I'm still learning, right? But in the meantime, I was able to do what? Resist dumb shit. Resist dumb shit along the way. Not all dumb shit. Not all dumb shit, but his divine presence helped me through the dumber shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's all. No, I agree with y'all totally. I just think we can't get caught up with these entertainers, man, because they trying to make a living off of us pushing the button. You feel me? This is why our situation is going slow, because we loving what we do. So when it blows up, when that shit blow up and keep going, guess what? We're going to continue to love it. You feel me? All right, well, look. Jaquari and Flute, any last things to say?
Well, man, I think we touched on some important topics, man. And said some enlightening things. Good point, Damon. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I look forward to the next time, fellas. Appreciate you.
No doubt. Damon.
oh man, hey, good conversation, man. Good conversation.
Yep. And look, we're here every Friday at 7:30. And it's either the three of us or we have some fantastic people. And folks who run across this, who are on Facebook, you want to come on, message me. And I got you. If you got my number, text me. I got you. You know, um, I appreciate my brothers because, see, contrary to everybody's belief, we in the same hemisphere, but the three of us think different. All three of us have independent thoughts, and God blessed us with a logical sensibility, and I'm blessed. I feel blessed to have that. All right, guys, what's the last word?
Peace.
Peace.
This is a Strong Perspective podcast. Thank you, Lisha, Anita, Malika. Damn you, Malika, you killed this day. I love that shit. Great question. Lisha, great question. You know what I'm saying? Aunt Robin, love you, baby. Keith Barnes, you was late, but you could have jumped in this conversation. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for everybody who commented. Dion Brooks, you coming on soon, brother. Appreciate all of y'all. This Strong Perspective podcast. Go ahead, you go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Peace.